Meet the Tank 700, a 6,800 pound body on frame hunk of Chinese steel that is very competent off-road, as you can tell, but also incredibly luxurious inside. A combination that at times can be a bit odds with itself, but man, this thing is friggin' sick. For those of you that aren't aware, the Tank 700 is made by Great Wall Motors, or GWM. They have been around for 41 years and are a Chinese car manufacturer that originally drew inspiration from existing companies. Like in the 90s, their Deere pickup had quite a few nods to the Toyota Hilux, although it was incredibly popular. Then in the 2000s, they continued doing similar stuff despite Fiat's best efforts. In the 2010s, though, things changed quite a bit with the Haval H6. That was their first 100% original design, and it turns out it was a hit. For 103 months straight, it was the best-selling SUV in China, and that is over 8.5 years of complete domination. Since then, they have continued expanding their own designs, and now in the 2020s, they are not just copying Western brands, they are partnering with them. Then in 2021, they launched their Tank brand of body-on-frame SUVs, off-road monsters, and we have the flagship one right here, the Tank 700. Powering the Tank 700 is a 3-liter V6 with twin turbos, making 355 horsepower, which Great Wall Motors thought is not quite enough. So on the output shaft, they slapped an electric motor there as well to develop a total of 516 horsepower that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. All of that power is delivered to the ground through some 275 tires on 20-inch wheels. And these right here are BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2s, which is an aftermarket option. You can option this from the factory with all-terrain tires, not these specific ones though. What's not aftermarket though is this 12,000 pound winch. So if the 11 inches of ground clearance or those tires are not enough, this will get you out of trouble. Going down, it's over 5 meters of length. We can see a couple of its 10 cameras that all get stitched together. And around the back, we can see a trunk that's a bit smaller than you might expect. That's because back here we have a 37.1 kilowatt hour battery. Now, it's claimed to be able to deliver 90 kilometers of all electric range, although in practice you'll probably get more like 70. That said though, it's up in the trunk here in order to protect it. On most electric cars, you'll have a skateboard design where the battery's along the bottom, which is great for handling, but it's not so great if you're doing off-road stuff and your battery ends up getting punctured by a rock or going underwater. By putting the battery right here, it can stay nice and safe, and if you really need more storage, you can put it on the roof. Another benefit of this is you can get 3,000 watts of power out from right here to power like a camp stove if it's late in the summer and you're not allowed to start an actual fire. Doing a bit of off-roading in the Tank, it is shockingly competent. We have 3 lockers, front, center, and rear, and I have not seen anything yet that even makes this sweat. The 11 inches of ground clearance has been more than enough for what we have been doing, and overall, it's not just handling the terrain, it is smooth over all of this terrain. It also has departure angles of 32 degrees in the front and 33 in the back, so you can go through ditches or crap like that without any troubles. Of course, we also have full-time 4-wheel drive, which is not the best for fuel economy, but you've got a battery for that. And also we have 4-low, although we have not had anything gnarly enough to really require that here today. We also have a detachable hydraulic sway bar. That allows you to detach the right and left wheels when you're going off-road, so you're not getting thrown all around by rocks, but you can have a nice smooth ride once you're on pavement. It's not a half bad looking rig, kind of imposing. When you're done off-roading though and just want to chill, Man, this is a good car to do it in. All the interior is Nappa leather. It looks absolutely beautiful. And these seats are some of the best that I have sat in. They are heated, cooled, and also have massage functionality. So if you just want to relax, great spot to do it. There's loads of nice furnishings like the Alcantara that goes up the A-pillars and is on the roof. We have this crystal shift knob like you're in a fancy Volvo. And also this textured metal is just generally nice. That said though, some of the controls are a bit confusing. Like climate controls, great. We can just change our temperature right here, all of where you want the heat to go, fan speed right there, fantastic. Where's the volume, you might ask though? That is only available on the touchscreen. You swipe down and then you can do it there, or you can do it on the steering wheel, but there's no knob despite there being loads of knobs around.
Or you can say 坦克坦克.
副驾请说.
Adjust volume. Why did I say in English?
Also in the center here, there's a tiny little display with a clock, or if you swipe down, you can hit the start and stop button if you didn't want to hit the physical start and stop button for some reason. As for the infotainment itself, it's genuinely baffling because I don't understand a thing on here. And also, a whole bunch of the features are not available outside of mainland China. That said though, it looks like that you can just watch entire movies on here if you so choose. And also, there's an absolute whackload of vehicle settings, if I can figure out where the heck those are. Not that one. Oh dear, Andy.
4x4.
4x4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Expert mode.
And in here we can control absolutely everything about the vehicle. One complaint is if you're in this menu, I find these graphics on the side a little bit distracting if you're driving down the road, but we have stuff like ride height, how stiff your steering is, and other things. I forgot the rest and I can't read it. One other cool feature is waiting mode. You can go to this menu and get up to 970 millimeters of waiting depth. The storage in here is also solid. We have storage for your sunglasses, storage for your drinks, storage right here for your phone, and it has wireless charging for 2 of them, storage for a bunch of stuff, and if you made children, you can store them back there too. And if you do chuck your kids back here, hopefully they will not complain. Climate control, heated seats, and in the center, there's even a fancy display. What can I do here? Oh, I can recline mom's seat. It's climate controls. I can change the music. Ah! And stuff. I figured out how to recline my seat. Nice. Peasant blockers up. Hell yeah. Hopping back into the front seat, we can have a listen to the sound system. It is 16 speakers from Harman Kardon, got a big old sub in the back, and even though it doesn't have subterranean bass, it sounds pretty freaking good in here. Oh. Hell yeah. All right, let's give this a launch. Oh. In here we have 516 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque, and a claimed 0 to 60 of just 5 seconds, although that did not feel like 5 seconds for sure. One thing that I will say is that while I've been driving this around, even though off-road everything felt really good, on-road the gas is not the most responsive that I've ever felt. If what your goal is to be smooth, this is an excellent vehicle for that. There is a lot of damping on your throttle inputs. It's very nice and casual, you could say, when you're putting around, but if what you're doing is trying to be sporty, really tucking into corners, well, maybe don't buy a 6,800 pound SUV. That said though, we're coming into some corners right here, and I'm not going to go very fast. The steering felt really nice when we were off-road. The overall softness and lack of effort was almost confidence-inspiring when you're on the trails, whereas when you're on the road itself and everything's nice and smooth, you're not getting a whole lot back from the steering wheel. Sporty, it is not. At least not on tarmac. Off-road, fantastic. It's really smooth and quiet in here though. The only thing I can hear is the roof box on the top, and For the all-terrain tires, this is a comfortable car, man. All right, I have cruise control enabled. It is steering itself around some really tight corners. I'm slightly concerned, but it's being really conservative, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing. What I will say is this is a really challenging spot to try and use cruise control and adaptive lane assist, and it is working really quite well. It isn't as nice and smooth as some of the best ones that I have felt, but overall, it is quite impressive. This also has the feature where if you turn on your signal when you're in a 2-lane highway, it'll go and pass the car in front of you. Now, I can't do that right now because it's only single lane, but in theory, it works. From what I've felt of the cruise control, if you have a long straight highway, you probably won't have to interfere for hours. Just don't try it on tight back roads and stuff like that. As for the price, the Tank 700 comes in at 428,000 yuan, which is about $60,000 US if you direct convert it. That said though, of course, it is not available in North America, and even if it was, I'm sure with shipping it would be a lot more, and with tariffs it would be a lot more. Even with a substantial markup though, this could be pretty competitive with the likes of Genesis, Land Rover, even Ineos. Not quite as hardcore, but similar-ish. That said though, I really like the Tank 700. It is an excellent display of technology and performance, and it's so sad that we don't get it here. What's not sad though is that you made it to the end of this video. Huge thanks for watching. Hit like, get subscribed, check out our Patreon down below so we can continue making crazy videos like this one. And of course, have a great old day. See you later.